Hey everybody, it's Sia with Black Petal Gardening, and today is the 14th, so it's Friday. And as promised in one of our most recent videos, we're going to do a little bit of harvesting. I'm hoping this is going to be a small garden, big harvest situation, but we'll kind of see where things land. All right, so why don't we just get right into it? Alrighty, so has joined us to help with the onion harvest. Look at that. Um, all of them have folded over, so they should be ready to go. So we're just gonna go ahead and carefully pull them up and see how they look. Nice. I can't remember how many I actually planted, so we'll give it a count once you've got them all. Yeah. And we have to be careful because there are a couple that are a little bit slimy on the necks. So now these were one of the first things that we did plant. I want to say mid-March. So seem to be doing quite well. Gotta be careful that we don't damage the bulbs. And these are all yellow onions. I can't tell you what variety because they just came in the box of sets that you get at like a Fred Meyer's or a Home Depot or they're not necessarily overly huge, but they're not super small either. That's cool. This one looks like it didn't bulb quite as much as it could have, so interesting. We're gonna need a bigger basket. Oh man.
What are you gonna do with all these?
We're gonna put them out on the back porch area so that they can sit out and cure. Yeah, and that's another one that maybe didn't quite bulb the way we would have liked. A little baby one. Maybe the smaller ones we can attempt to dehydrate and then make an onion powder from or something like that. Uh-oh, uh-oh. Onion down, onion down. These are looking lovely. Oh man.
Last time, onions were the state vegetable of Oregon for a while.
Were they really?
Yeah.
Huh?
Yeah.
I did not even know that. See, that is a factoid that came from somebody who is not even a native Oregonian.
It's recently been replaced by the potato.
What? Idaho has the potato. Why are we scrapping off of them? All right, I think that...
Big potato, maybe. Big potato.
Well, just because we cook it. All right, well, I think that's it. And maybe we should have gotten the big basket.
Yeah.
All right, well, we'll be right back because there's still like 8 billion things that we're going to harvest today.
Yep.
Okay, it was 0 time for you, but a little bit of time for us. We are back. Why don't we start with our carrots while we're over here? And I haven't looked at these to make sure that they are actually ready, but they look okay. Oh, look at that. Isn't that a beauty? I know. So we just gotta be careful so it doesn't pull or break in the ground. Now these were the Nantes, Nantes, I believe. And they are the ones, really? You're eating all our goods? How dare you? These are the ones that we planted using the seed tape. So they were already nice and easily spaced out, which hopefully means that we'll have a good harvest because they'd have presumably have room to grow. I guess we'll find out.
Pull them all?
Yeah, let's pull them all, unless they seem like really, really small to you. Because we're also going to pull the purple dragon ones that are in the other bin.
And I think you guys are
Yeah, I don't know if at this point, because they have hit or should be at their maturity date, I don't know if they'll get any bigger or not.
Let's keep pulling.
I'm going to say let's just pull them all, and then, because that'll give us, room to do other stuff. Baby. That'll be for the dogs. Our dogs are so excited. Well, that's definitely for the dogs. That this garden is getting to the point where we're harvesting every time we come in. Ah, there's another little baby one.
I mean, you got too crowded, maybe.
Yeah. Because they're always expecting to get a little snack, which I guess we got them used to last year. Coming in from the garden, where's my tomatoes? Those don't look bad at all.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Those. I think there's like one more teensy one. And look at all those weeds that I didn't notice. Okay. Look at that.
All right.
Super harvesty. All right. Scott is going to be leaving us because he is in the middle of cooking something very delicious and needs to go check on it. So I am going to pull some of these weeds really quick now that they've been uncovered, and then we'll get back to harvesting. Okay, so we are going to do a harvest of peas. I have a feeling that that's going to take a little while because we do have a good number of them. I do like to wait until they've got this kind of poofy, I don't know if it's texture or look. Oh, it didn't come up all the way, come off all the way. So I'm going to eat this. Okay. I did that off the camera so that you didn't have to hear me doing. Also, I bought one of those little thumb things that has the blade, which is supposed to help you cut through plants. And oops, found that it was really awkward and didn't really work nearly as well as me just taking my thumb without something on it. Now, you can definitely tell that we're getting towards the end of the life cycle for these peas. They're not as big by quite a measure. And they don't look quite as, green and robust or deeply purple or anything like that. And these ones are they're a little bit squishy. Oopsie. So I have a feeling that means they are not growing as well as they did in the past. Hey, babe.
Hey.
So, I don't know. I'm kind of thinking we might want to call it on this.
Yeah, probably.
And just take it down. Because they're not. Okay, bug.
We gotta be careful with this guy, I guess.
Oh, yeah, I just put the part of its stuff in the weaving because it was falling all over the place.
You digging these guys up too?
Oh, yeah. We sure are. Okay. Okay, we are going to finish pulling as many peas as we can from here, and then we're going to, I think, just clip the pea plants and remove them so that we'll have essentially a free bed to plant in a little bit. But we're going to do that off camera, and we'll be back. But before we go, look at our beautiful teddy bear dwarf sunflower. Bee has found it and is cultivating its nectar, I guess, at this point. So super cute and fuzzy, both of them. Okay, as you can see, we have pulled out the trellis that had the, I think it was Sugar Magnolia peas on it. The trellis that had the Sugar Ann has been emptied as well. We do have what I think might be a Brad's Atomic grape tomato here that's kind of sprawling, so I'm gonna need to get something to help cage that up. Maybe take this thing, which actually was a tomato cage, and put it around it and weave some things in there to give it a little bit of support. But this first bed is the first one that we ever planted, and it has been mostly harvested. And you can see over here we've got our sunspot dwarf sunflower. It has not yet flowered yet, but looking forward to seeing that. And we've got some more of the teddy bears getting ready, so that's exciting. Next on deck are our purple dragon carrots. So we're gonna see how these are doing. These ones should be bigger than the Nantes, so we may have to be a little bit more careful about our harvesting process. Oh, look at that. Beautiful. It's actually purpley.
Precise.
All right, so we'll get our beautiful basket over here. To be a little bit careful because we do have Scott's Brussels sprouts, and then there's some onions. Oh, look at that mamma jamma. Holy mackerel. Could use that for some of your coleslaw. Look at those. Beautiful. I did try and do a succession sowing of these, and it wasn't necessarily super successful. We do have some smaller ones over here that aren't as mature, and those are the succession ones. I don't know if they will mature or not because of the leaves of the Brussels sprouts, but we'll leave those in place. Yeah, those little ones, we'll leave those just in case they do do more. But wow, check that out. So big and beautiful. All right, so next step, cucumbers or cabbage? All right, this is the moment Scott has definitely been waiting for. Get our cabbage going. I don't know if it's better for us to just clip it or, nope, never mind. It still has its little pot on it. All right, so let's take a look and see what there is to see on this here cabbage. Looks pretty nice.
Yeah.
I mean, we had a little damage from pests and things like that, but I think overall it didn't do too badly. This year we did a crop of 4. As you can see, the other 2 that are left here, not quite as developed, but they are ready for harvest. We sacrificed one a little bit early on, maybe a couple weeks ago, 3 weeks ago. Uh-oh, he found an earwig. Just to make some room. And so we are going to do a fall sowing of cabbage, but I think we're only going to do 2. Okay. Yeah, I think this will be a really nice size for coleslaw for just us 2. A lot of goobers in there. So it's down in the wells. I guess not.
Yeah.
We might have to be careful, soak that a little bit or something. And be able to break it. Oh, there he got it. He got it. This one we're going to wait him on just because there's only so much we can do with cabbage all at one time.
All right, I'm going to go measure my potatoes.
Okay.
Do the rest.
Alrighty. He's leaving me to do the rest of the hard work, guys. But that's okay. All right, so now we are gonna do our dragon's egg. Now this guy got wedged between the bed and this stuff, so it's a little deformed, but you know, that's okay. We still love it. We do have a few of these. They look beautiful. Look at that. Okay. Oh, here's another big beauty. Golly. This is wonderful, especially because I was really concerned about how slow it seemed to be maturing. And again, that was based on my expectations, not necessarily, the maturity rate given on the seed packet, though. I don't remember. I think that we got these from Baker's Creek, and I don't remember if they actually show maturity dates on their seed packets. They might. I don't remember. Okay. And I think we have one last one that we're going to harvest. There we go. Look at that. Oh my goodness. This is definitely a beautiful bounty. I am incredibly grateful for what we've gotten so far. It is such it's a relief, and it just brings me so much joy to be able to say I helped make this happen, and to have something to be proud of. So I mean, even if there was only 3 peas and a carrot of a smaller size, you're pulling stuff out of the garden, especially if you're a newer gardener, you're doing a newer area. Anything you get out is wonderful. Obviously, you want something robust for the time you put in, but being able to harvest anything, I think, is a plus. Now, we do have plenty more coming in, but they're not quite ready for harvesting. So we're going to leave the rest of those on the vine. Our Mexican sour gherkins are not quite where they need to be harvested yet either. So nothing we're going to be doing there. But he's our most prolific plant, and it's one that I have been needing to trim quite frequently because it's hard to get in and see even what's going on. But this is our hybrid gentry summer squash, and we've got a lot to harvest here. Look at this. Holy macaroni. Wow. Okay, we are definitely going to tally up, where we land at the end of this. But like I was saying before, so far I'm extremely pleased. The question is, what's the easy? Oh, okay. I guess I just need to pull it my way. Now, some of these I think we may have pulled a little early because we were grabbing them when they were still fairly pale yellow. I'm sure that's not a big deal. They tasted fine. Okay, that one's a little difficult. always good to have appropriate tools when you're doing stuff in the garden. Make life easier. Okay, there are definitely bugs. I don't know if they're bees or flies or whatever. They're floating around and right near my ears. So, oh my word. Oop. Okay, I think, no, there's still one over there that's pretty dark yellow. And I don't want to leave it on the vine. That kind of cut close, so we might have to make sure we eat that sooner than the others. Oh no. Well, once again, I may need a bigger basket. We don't have any zucchini that's just yet ready to harvest, and though we do have some watermelons, sugar baby watermelons coming in, those are not ready. I've got some of the black bolota coming in. I don't think that one is ready to go yet. Right, at least based on the photos, it seems like that should or could get darker. So I think we are done harvesting from the squash bed, and then we are going to move over and see what, if anything, there is available to harvest in the tomatoes. Okay, so it does look like we have some tomatoes that are blushing. So some that are more than just blushing. So we are able to get them plucked. And these are the Juliet tomatoes, which are a type of Roma, I believe. Well, they could be a type of grape tomato too, but I feel like they're a Roma of some sort. And I'm not going to try and dig out their little tag that should have the information on there. Oh boy, this is a maze over here. It's very densely packed. So as these tomatoes become ripe, I think I've made life more difficult for myself from a harvest standpoint. Now these are probably our sun gold. Uh-oh. I'm not sure where that just dropped to. I'm gonna go ahead and pull ones that are blushing, even if they're not fully golden or red, depending on what they should be. Just so that we actually get them and they don't get to a point where they over ripen. I don't know, hun, can you see if you can reach these sun golds that are here, kind of, I don't know if it's easier access from that side or not. Yeah, actually, something like never mind, I guess. I know, I heard your gasp of excitement. All right, did you want to grab the blushy ones? It's such a jungle in here.
Yeah, I think you're quite ready yet.
It's okay if they're not, as long as they've got a blush on them, you know, they've started to turn a color, then we're good to take them off and they can ripen in the house.
Two for the most awesome potato sauce.
Sweet. Nothing else?
I grab those back there.
Are there more?
Oh, I thought you were talking about those guys.
Oh, oops, I guess I did miss that. You said you don't think you can reach?
I'm not from here now.
Okay. Did you have stuff that you're gonna harvest from our pepper patch?
I don't know. What are these guys again?
Which ones? Those are Sugar Rush Peach, so they should, once they're ready, have like a peach blush on them.
Okay.
So maybe that bottom one might be ready, but I can't really tell with the way the lighting is.
Yeah, the lighting doesn't. No, okay, so maybe
I don't think it would hurt if we ended up harvesting them a little bit early, but if you want to hold off on
Yeah,
them.
I'll have a couple.
Okay. Now we've got a lot of peppers in here. I think Scott's waiting for them to actually get red.
Carmines, yeah.
So we've got some shishitos over here. These Petal I know nothing about. They were a free packet. But we've got a bunch of little tomatoes there, some really big ones down there that we're just waiting for them to start getting some color on. The Black Beauty and the Black Strawberry tomatoes seem to be coming on pretty well. These. We don't have too much in the way of tomatoes on the dwarf tomatoes just yet. This is actually a black strawberry tomato, so not part of the dwarf tomato thing. But there's a few flowers, and I think maybe there's been some set. Okay, let's see if I can reach. Oh, there they are. I don't know if you guys can see. Ugh, I'm having trouble trying to get to them. So this is the downside of poor planning, I guess this might be called, or aggressive planting. Not taking how much your plants are going to size up into consideration, or not taking into consideration enough. So yeah, our harvests I think are going to be a little bit tricky, but they are producing quite a bit. We have a lot of green tomatoes, so as they blush, hopefully that'll help us find them timely. But for a first tomato harvest, I think that's not too shabby. And we did have to go get another basket because it ended up that we filled the other one. So, all right, beautiful. All right, now the last place we are going to harvest today are these beans in the green stalk. So, as I mentioned, I do plan on sowing more beans so that I can get a fall harvest. Those I'm going to be doing in pots. And potentially in the raised bed that we just opened up by taking out all of the onions and the peas. But I have a lot of bean seeds for that. And I hope it's successful, because my first attempt ever at growing from seed was last fall in an attempt to do a fall garden, and unfortunately the beans that I sowed, I think I must have done it too late because they kind of didn't get very far before it got too cold, and then they just shriveled up and died. You know, it's kind of sad. Okay, now these are the Kalima, the ones that we just did. The purple ones are purple teepee. And one of the reasons why I want to have so many bean plants is to get a very large bean harvest so that we can do our hot pickled beans, which is a recipe that my grandpa had and we love. These are some really nice beans. Great for eating, for dinner, as well as for pickling plans. Oh, it's a little tangly. And I think I'm getting past my handful size limit here. And I don't want to damage the plant itself with my efforts. Okay. Shift that over. Oh no! It took a tumble. Okay. Do another pass through. I don't see any more that look like they're ready to harvest. So, yeah, not a bad bounty for our green beans. Okay, now we're gonna look at the second layer of beans that we have. I did decide to sit down here because they are so low and I didn't want to be bending over and making my back hurt. But these ones are the Blue Lake beans. I will say these ones haven't been quite as robust as the beans, the Blue Lake beans that I planted last year. I don't know if that's because they are planted in the green stock or what, because when I did the ones last year, they were in our old raised beds. It seems like the sizing is hit or miss. It could just be that I need to let these grow a little bit more. I don't know, but it is what it is, and I'm certainly not going to turn my nose up at a harvest, even if it's not exactly what I'm hoping for. This one, I think there's a few on here that, more than a few, that I'm just gonna wait on. And see, part of the other thing is I don't know why these fell over. They're supposed to be a bush bean, and I didn't think that they needed staking or anything like that. So I'm not quite sure why they fell. Oh, you guys are sliding around here. So that might be something I need to figure out if I am going to continue next year with a strawberry and bean green stock. Okay. Now, we do have a couple of strawberries down here. They're not the most beautiful strawberries, but they're strawberries nonetheless. Okay, and this is still, so some of these I think have been here for a little while. That's why they're, pretty big and robust. Okay, I don't see anything new there. And you can kind of see where I've put up some twine as kind of an effort to give them some support. Not the necessarily the best of efforts, but it was what I could think of to do. I don't know that moving another one of these supports would have really done very much for these, but even still, I do have plenty of other plants in the other green stalks that do really need some support, so I didn't feel comfortable pulling it away from those to try and prop up these beans. Okay, now we are not going to harvest these because these are the tiger eye beans, and they are supposed to be a shelling bean, and based on the packet, if we're going to do them as a, for dried beans, we should just let them dry on the vine. And so that's the plan for these 3 pockets. Okay. Yeah, you can definitely tell that the strawberries are being affected by the heat because they're not developing very big, and when they do develop, they're not in the best of shape. That said, the plants, they look beautiful. Oh my gosh, you see that? There's a whole bunch just hiding out back here. Oh, where did that kind of big one go? Yeah, look at that. This one, it's not that great because it's got these white shoulders, but I don't really expect a lot of strawberries that are amazing in my own garden. Oop, this one looks like those little guys from Sesame Street. Yep, 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 yep. Uh-huh. Anyway, we are not going to try and even attempt to enjoy those. But as I was saying, in the heat, July, into July and some into August, if we're looking at really high temperatures, I'm not really expecting too much from my strawberries. At least not from my garden. Other places that do strawberries, orchards or whatever, farmers probably have a better way to make sure that they grow well and strong. I probably shouldn't have plucked those beans either. They were a little small, but but I'm hoping, because these are some very robust plants, that as we get towards fall, maybe we'll get some additional flowers, and the pollinators won't, oops, sorry about my finger being in the way, have gone to hibernation just yet, and we'll get additional harvest of decent sized strawberries. Definitely pulling the runners off on here because we don't need any runners. All right, well, I think that was it for this green stalk. We're gonna go look at some of the other green stalks because they did have beans on them, and there's definitely plenty of herbs to harvest, but we're not gonna do any herb harvests right now. We are gonna focus mostly on vegetables and fruits, depending on what we've got available. So next time you see me, I will be at the next green stalk. Okay, we are back. We're at the orange or terracotta, the official color, green stalk, and these are the French fillet beans, so they're going to be, thinner, more elegant, but we definitely have stuff to harvest. Ugh. I'm trying not to maul the plant. I do want it to survive the actual harvest process as much as possible. so that we can definitely have more as the summer goes on. Don't want to harvest that one. That one's a little too tiny. Oof, come on. Oh, hello, yellow jacket, I think. Or no, I don't remember. Is it a yellow jacket if it's got the stripies but it's long and skinny? Rather than just like kind of a short, stubby, angry thing. Okay, you can see here that our cilantro has definitely gone to seed. I think we're going to try and let these dry out and harvest them for coriander. That wasn't really the plan originally, but since we never actually pulled them out and we've got them, you know, kind of why not? We do have some tomatoes in our green stock coming in. We've got a lot of basil and parsley, but as I said before, we're not really looking to do any herb harvesting at the moment. But we do have another French fillet bean plant over here. Let's see, do we have any actual beans? Just this one little one. I think I'll leave the other ones there. And then down below, I am pretty sure that this is another set of Blue Lake beans. And these ones I want to say that we purchased at the, you know, like a Home Depot or Fred Meyer's or something, you know, garden center of some sort. They're not ones that we planted from seed. Oh my goodness, there we go. A nice, robust plant though, which, you know, to be expected if it's been commercially grown, or at least commercially started. I know, I'm losing beans. Need bigger hands. Or I needed to be smart and bring my basket over here. Oh my goodness. Sure, it's very fun when you can't really actually see what I'm doing, huh? Okay, I think we got most of the beans there. Not bad. And here's the French fillet ones. Okay guys, you can probably hear the dogs panting in the background, but this is the culmination of our harvest. I will be taking these out of the baskets to kind of get a better individual look at what it is we got. So next thing you see should be that. It's going to take me a little while to get it all organized, and we're in the house, so we don't have a ton of space here in the kitchen to put them. So I'm going to have to figure out how best to go about that. Okay, so here's where we landed with our harvest. As you can see, it is on our indoor freezer here, so it just barely fit, and there absolutely was not any room for all of our onions. We will be putting those outside sometime this weekend so that they can dry out and cure. All right, it turns out that the final count of our onions was 30. So we do still have a few that are in the ground that we did as a second sowing. I'm really not sure if they're going to do much, simply because of where we planted them and them getting overshadowed by the Brussels sprout leaves. And then we do have some of the Walla Walla onions that we planted in various places. So this isn't the full scope of what our onions are, but I wouldn't be surprised if this is the bulk of, sizable bulbs. As I mentioned earlier, my goal is going to be to use the smaller, less developed ones to create onion powder after we dehydrate them. And then, of course, as the larger ones cure, we will keep them stored for, future use. So that's where we ended up on the onions. Let's go over what we harvested. We have strawberries. We've got 3 different peppers over here. I think one's a poblano. One is a banana pepper, and I'm not sure what the last one is. These came out of the green stock, and this year it was a little iffy. It's been a little iffy for our pepper harvesting. I'm not sure why. Last year we had some pretty good experiences with that. We've got our tomatoes, some San Marzanos. We've got some Juliets, which are a grape tomato or maybe even a small Roma, and then Sun Gold cherry. We got our hybrid gentry summer squash, which we have a ton of. We've got our peas. These are both sugar magnolia and sugar and. We did take that plant down though, so we are done with peas for the season. And then just a variety of beans, Kalima, purple teepee, French fillet, and Blue Lake beans, I believe, are the varieties that we harvested. Tons of those. And if you see some weird discoloration, that's from the strawberries because they were in the same basket. We've got our dragon's egg cucumbers. And speaking of dragons, we've got our purple dragon carrots, our Nantes carrots, and last but definitely not least, our hybrid paddock cabbage. So a very, very good harvest, and I expect we'll have more to come, especially in the tomato, squash, cucumber, and bean situation. And we will be starting our fall garden very, very soon. At least the beans. There's going to be a couple other things, daikon radishes that we're going to do, and I think I'm going to do some additional carrots, but those may be a little bit later, maybe in a month or so. All right, well, we'd love to get your feedback, so please drop us a comment, and if you enjoyed this video and or our others, please consider giving us a like and think about subscribing because we'd really enjoy that. Okay, we're going to close it now because it's definitely time for dinner. I hope you have a marvelous evening, and until next time, take care of yourselves. Bye-bye.